Alright guys, my name is Marquise Jones.
My name is Tremaine Fisher.
And this video is for our digital video production class with Dr. Price.
Today we're going to show you guys how to use three-dimensional shot composition. The first shot will be
select the focus and depth of field.
the second shot will be rack focus.
The third shot will be illogical closure and backgrounds.
And the fourth and final shot will be Z-axis blocking.
The point of this video is to basically teach you guys how to use these shots and basically describe how to use them on a DSLR camera. Alright, the first thing we're going to talk about is selective focus and depth of field. Selective focus is the use of limited depth of field to focus sharply on a specific object in a scene while other parts are clearly out of focus. Selective focus also helps isolate elements inside the frame and assign them a relative value to the story. Now you guys can see that the Beats headphones are more in focus than anything else because that's the selective object we have chosen to focus more on. Now as we focus out, the Canon is more focused than everything else, but we're still focusing, and now the headphones in the back are becoming more focused than anything else. Now when it comes to depth of field though, depth of field is the distance between the nearest and the furthest objects that give an image judged to be in focus in a camera. Because larger sensor cameras and DSLR require a longer focal length lens to cover a normal field of view, many shooters take advantage of the shallower depth of field to help guide viewers' attention inside the frame. As you see, we've zoomed out a little bit more, and now the front is a little bit more focused in on everything else, but as we move depth of field a little bit back to focus more on the background, zoomed out, zoom in a little bit. As we zoom in, we're going to put all three objects in focus a little bit more. There we go. And now all three objects are in focus. Now we're going to zoom out and put the background more into focus than everything else, and that's the depth of field. Put background. There you go. So now the background's in focus, and all three objects are out of focus. Okay, guys, our second 3D compositional shot is called a rack focus. Now, a rack focus in filmmaking and television production is the practice of changing the focus of the lens during a shot. The term can refer to small or large changes of focus. If the focus is shallow, then the technique becomes more noticeable. Now right now, we're focusing more on the front and everything else is down a line. Now as we're focusing on the front, we're going to go down that line and put everything else into focus, and the front becomes more out of focus, and we're going to be more focusing on the back. Now you see how the front is becoming out of focus and more of the back is becoming into focus. Now as we switch back into the front, as we go down that line, the back becomes out of focus and the front becomes more into focus. And that is your rack focus.
Illogical closure is when the visual element of two unrelated objects provide enough continuation of graphic vector to be used as a single object. In the frame, as you see, the fire lane sign appears to be on the palm tree. But if you look to the right of the tree, you see the gray pole. That's what the sign is really on. This is a prime example of illogical closure. Z-axis blocking is an imaginary line that extends to the horizon. This filmmaking technique helps add depth to the shot, making it 3D. As you can see in the frame, there is an imaginary line between the three subjects. As Dion comes into the frame, he's also a part of Z-axis blocking as well. As Marquise leaves the frame and I step to the center of the frame, that's still an example of the Z-axis blocking being used. This shot is a prime example of Z-axis blocking.
Alright guys, that's it for the 3D compositional shot. Hopefully all that stuff helped you out and get some projects done, or just learning how to use a DSLR camera when it comes to depth of field, rack focus, selective focus, and Z-axis. My name is Marquise Jones.
I'm Tremaine Fisher.
And we signing off.